Our youth are our biggest resource. We have the youngest population in the world. That is a resource for me. I also know that as Africans, particularly as Nigerians, I know how resilient we are. It doesn't matter what the challenges are that are before us, we always find a way to overcome those challenges. Now, during the COVID era of the last 2 years, many people felt that Africa would literally just disappear, right? Many famous people actually said it, that we're going to be dropping dead on the streets of Lagos and other parts of Africa. But that didn't quite happen. I'm not saying that we have all the best leaders in the world, but I am saying that despite the challenges we face, we seem to find a way to get through those challenges. Now, if I take myself as a living example of what's going on in the continent, I am a black woman. I had a career in oil and gas until I was 40. When I turned 40, I decided that I wanted to change my career and get into the world of media because I knew how powerful media was in changing the narrative. When I got into this industry, I defined what's called the 4Ds, and that is literally how the world has seen us. And when I say the world, the Western world: disease, disaster, despair, and destruction. And that is all they see. Just Google images of Africa and see what comes up. And in order for that image to change, we have to be speaking to ourselves and saying to ourselves, what is the change that we want to see? What is the change that we want to be? Now, everybody goes to America thinking the streets of New York and LA are paved with gold, but we all know that's not the situation. But the media is such a powerful tool that we need to use to change perceptions, to change mindsets, and also as an educational tool. So for me, it's about, I've decided to play in a space that is media. We also have the Ebony Life Creative Academy that is training the next set of filmmakers. I have seen the incredible things that's happening in the world of show business. We have artists like Davido and Burna Boy selling out O2 arenas. They're empowering generations to come. Now, they have done all of this despite the challenges that we face on the continent. We've seen companies like Paystack and Flutterwave who have had huge amounts of investment in their companies from companies in America. So I'm saying that, I'm not saying that we aren't challenged, but our youth are so resourceful that I just know that given half a chance, they are doing and they will continue to do. And yes, we do need to continue to support them, but it's not all gloom. It's not all gloom.
But in order to get... I think that's a great point that you bring up, but just as Vimal was saying, it is different if you are sitting in New York City versus if you are sitting in Lagos and you have a phone. So there's still...
But they do have phones.
They do. I mean, in both cities, you're different. I mean, there are different challenges that children in the States are facing.
Absolutely, there are different challenges. I mean, we know what the challenges in New York is, or what the challenges in America are. I mean, you're literally leaving your front door. You're not sure if you're going to make it home on time. Now, do we face those challenges in Africa? No, we don't. We don't have people going around with gun violence. So we need to, I keep saying to myself that we are challenged, but don't let's focus on the negatives. Let's build on the positives, because that's the only way that we're going to get through all of this. We are a continent that is blessed by God with the best resources in the world that God has given to us. Value add, we must do. We can't just keep shipping everything out.
Yeah.
So there are things that we need to address and that we need to look at as a continent. And leadership is key.
Yeah.
And we talk about the fact that many of our leaders are old, but many of the leaders around the world are old. So what do we say about that? Yeah. So, I mean...
Well, what role do you guys see leaders playing? Because in order to give, I mean, what you were saying, Mo, building on the tools that are there already, what is it that leadership needs to be doing right now, and the messages that need to be communicated to the youth?
They need to lead.
The international community. What is the role that international governments play in helping with this reset that you're talking about? Because yes, you can empower the youth, but if you're not giving them the global stage.
We have allowed the international community to come into our societies and literally take everything away from us.
So you put the blame on...
Well, you see, again, it's about the leaders that we have. It's like it's about the leadership saying, what role do we play in this? I really am very passionate about value add. If we don't value add and we just send everything totally out, what part of that are we getting back? We're getting it back and paying 10 times the price for it that we can't even afford in the first place. So we have to look within. We have the resources. They actually need us. more than we actually need them. And we need to wake up and realize that. We have the biggest deposits of everything in the world. But we have just let that just, sort of fade away, and it's taken away, and we've signed all these agreements for years and years. We've got all this debt, that somehow no one even understands where it all began or what it is. But that is where we are. So we have to, at some point, wake up and say, we have the largest resources of cocoa, cobalt. Every single phone has cobalt in it. Where is the largest deposits in the world? In the Congo Republic. Where is the largest deposits of oil and gas? We have that. Diamonds and oil. I mean, what are we saying? We have it. So why don't we start holding them hostage a little bit more and demanding more from them?